Hello everybody and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I hope you guys are all doing very well from this little peek of my stack of books. This week I'm going to be continuing on with my project to read some more summer thrillers that hopefully will keep me out of a little bit of a lingering reading slump that I've been trying to avoid. If you didn't catch last week, I had a similar TBR on last week's vlog, and I did end up getting to one thriller last week. But this week, I'm going to hopefully knock off a few more of these summery thrillers. Again, I don't want to pressure myself too much because I am coming out of a little bit of a reading slump. But here's some books that I'm going to be choosing from and considering this week. So first we have the new Riley Sager With a Vengeance that just came out. This is a locked door mystery that takes place on a train in the 1940s and feels very Murder on the Orient Express, Agatha Christie inspired. Then we also have Heartwood, which is a missing person mystery about a hiker that goes missing on the Appalachian Trail. And I've heard that it's quite twisty and intriguing. And then I also have The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand. This was a kind of spur of the moment pickup from Barnes & Noble. And I don't know what caught my attention so much. Maybe that it's like a chunky, summery looking thriller. But I thought it looked really interesting. This is a summery thriller that takes place in Nantucket at a wedding. As we know, I am currently planning my wedding and hopefully sending out the invitations this week, where the maid of honor, I believe, is discovered dead in Nantucket Harbor just hours before the ceremony. And it's kind of like a detective mystery. So I thought this might be a fun option this week too. And then finally, I also just got Stillhouse Lake that came in the mail by Rachel Kane. This is a mystery series about a woman who discovers that her husband is a serial killer. And I've heard really, really good things about this. So this could also be one that kind of keeps me out of a reading slump and keeps me in a good place. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to start with just yet. I'm going to see which one is speaking to me because none of them are really jumping out that I want to pick one up first. So I might do a little try a chapter or kind of see what I'm thinking as I move into this evening. But otherwise, I have one more day of my very crazy work week. And then next week I have a little bit of a lighter schedule, so a little bit more time to read. As I said, Tyler and I have a lot of wedding planning stuff that we need to do, including building our registry and sending out our invitations that needs to happen this week. And I also have my dress fitting, so it should be a very wedding inspired week, which saying it out loud makes me think that maybe I should pick up The Perfect Couple because wedding mystery, wedding week, that just sounds perfect. Maybe I'll dip my toe in and see what I'm feeling before I embrace what looks like quite a chunky thriller. Yes, getting on for 500 pages. So I will kind of see what I think there. Going to edit last week's vlog this evening. Maybe just watch some baseball on TV, kind of have a chill evening and start one of these books. So anyways, welcome to the vlog. All right, so it is currently Wednesday, and my poor little tea plant, as you may see, just dropped another leaf. All of the leaves are just falling on the floor, and I don't know. I'm a little confused. Is it that it's too cold in here now with the air conditioning unit? Was it that it was too hot before? I think it definitely could use a water. Do I need to move it? I don't know. If you've ever grown a tea plant, please let me know if you have any tips. But I have finished a book actually already, and it's only Wednesday. So I did want to fill you guys in with my thoughts of that. And I finished The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand. I gave this a 3 stars. I think closer to 3.5. This is a actual, I think third book in a series, which I didn't quite realize when I picked it up. And it follows a group of characters that live on Nantucket, which is a very wealthy island essentially like very close to Boston, Massachusetts. And yes, it follows the same characters throughout the series, but I didn't feel like I couldn't understand this. Not having picked up the other books, I feel like maybe I would have gotten a little bit more out of it if I had, but it still was like enjoyable, understandable throughout the whole time. So this is a wedding murder mystery. Basically, the maid of honor is found murdered on the beach, and you are kind of looking into the detective who is investigating this crime, and then also flashing back and getting little bits from each of the different characters throughout the story. This is very like everybody in here is a little bit dysfunctional. There's no, I mean, there's some characters that you root for, some characters that are more likable than others, but this is a cast of very twisty-turny, imperfect people. I kind of like guessed the conclusion, and the last little bit, the last conclusion, the last twist wasn't anything that blew my mind, but it did feel realistic. Like, I think that that would probably be how this story ended in real life. So I also didn't have a problem with that. Sometimes like books that end with a ridiculous twist just don't make sense. And so I liked that this ended with something that made sense for all of these characters. I thought the writing was solid. I would be interested in picking up more from this author, more in this series. I think this felt extremely summery. She is known for writing like the summer read, the beach read, and I can certainly see why. I think some of these other books in Nantucket and some of her other reads all around would be really fun to pick up at this time of the year. And she also has a little like winter series at the back called the Winter Street series, which I might just have to pick up when it gets a little colder outside, because I also think that that would be very atmospheric and fun. So yeah, overall, this was a very solid mystery thriller. I don't think that there was anything in here that completely like shocked and blew my socks off, but there also wasn't anything in here that was like objectionable. And I would pick up something else by this author. I am interested to watch the Netflix series that is based on this book. And overall, a solid reading experience that I really devoured and got through very quickly. This morning, I decided to pick up Stillhouse Lake. I am just about on page like 10-15, so I don't really have any thoughts about it so far, other than the fact that the writing is extremely like immersive and addictive right off the bat. Like, I am super involved in the story, and it's just the beginning, so I do have a really good feeling about it, but I don't really have much else to tell you at this point because not too many thoughts yet. But I am planning to read a little bit at work. I do have a 4 to 10 p.m. shift tonight over with the kiddos at the Peds Hospital, so that'll be lovely. And when I get back, maybe I'll read a little bit before I head to sleep. And then after today, I have a stretch of a few days off, which is going to be really awesome. I'm very excited about that. Oh, one other little life update. You may remember that last week I went to the dentist for what ended up being like the most crazy dentist appointment ever. I was having a little bit of like pain and sensitivity where one of the fillings was done. So I went back today just to make sure everything was fine, and everything was fine. I was like very much in my head about it. So she like took a look at everything and it all looked good. But I have to say, they sat me in the room where I was before, and I was like, I don't want to be in this room. I've been triggered. But I'm glad that I got the peace of mind that everything looks okay with that. So hopefully won't be going back to the dentist until my next cleaning is due, because I'm done with it. I'm over. All right. I'm going to help Tyler finish putting some invitations and envelopes, and then I'm going to get ready for work. Mildly better. So happy Friday. Today, what happens? First of all, I went to go get my wedding dress fitting done yesterday, which was great. The lady was super lovely. One of my favorite parts of this whole wedding journey has just been meeting these like small business owners that have helped me along the way. And I mean, obviously I'm paying them, but like, I feel like it's been a really tough time for small businesses. And so I've really tried to, as much as possible, like support small businesses through the wedding. And it's just been so lovely, like meeting these people. And that's definitely been a highlight of the wedding planning, even though the planning itself has not been my favorite. So I did that. My wedding dress is out of my possession right now. It is with her in good hands so that she can make the bustle and the hem and all the things. And I'm going to pick it up about 3 weeks prior to the wedding day. Today, we did another little wedding thing with so one of my bridesmaids, Charlotte. We basically are trying to make signature drinks for the cocktails based on my alma mater and my partner's alma mater, like match the colors, kind of. So we did a little cocktail experiment, and we think that we found 2 that will work. One will be a red sangria, and the other one will be a blackberry old fashioned. So fingers crossed that all goes down without a hitch, but they were really good. I made a blackberry syrup and a raspberry syrup, which are still sitting in the fridge. So I, at some point, will enjoy a very nice, refreshing little raspberry or blackberry drink with those. Maybe some mint from the garden would also be lovely. I went to Orange Theory today, and literally on the way out of Orange Theory, I went to go, we had some pizza for dinner. My friend Charlotte and I had some pizza. I went to go to a cake store to buy us some dessert. And I literally got an oatmeal cream pie and was like eating it in my workout clothes. And it just felt like kind of scandalous, but I was very happy with myself, and it was a delicious way to end off a Friday. This clip is already very long and I've been rambling. So I did want to give you a little update because I have not finished Stillhouse Lake. However, I'm on chapter 11 out of like 15. So we're really nearing the end point. This is so freaking readable. So basically you're following, I think I talked about this in another clip, but you're following this family who the husband or father figure is found to be a serial killer. He has been killing women in his little woodshed, and basically the family has been on the run since then. There was a point where like the mom was suspected of being involved, and then she was cleared. So she's living with the kids, and they have been on the run. Mainly at this point, though, from internet trolls who kind of suspect that other people in the family may have known and that they got away with being involved in his crimes, even though they shouldn't have. So they've been kind of living almost on like lockdown. They're very skittish and like scared around people. She has a gun. They like move every couple of weeks because they can't stay in the same place because of this fear. So they end up finally finding this little place called Stillhouse Lake, which is very peaceful, quiet. They said, this made me laugh. The way it was described was like a housing, kind of like estate, a housing, what is the word? A housing development. And instead of having a grand fence, it has kind of gone to ruin. So it's a little bit like the fence is just always open. And I thought that was a great way to describe it. So basically they're there. It's very peaceful. They love it. But one day there is a body that turns up in Stillhouse Lake. And it was basically the body looks the same way as the victims from the father, the serial killer. And so how is this happening? What is going on? I feel like I know where this is going. A tale as old as time. I'm pretty sure I know how the end is going to go. So I'm going to be really, really disappointed if this becomes predictable. Because I think, like, if this continues to be this readable, this gripping, this, like, it's one of those, like, thrillers you cannot put it down. I could potentially give this a 5 stars. But if the end is the predictable little like thing that I think it's going to be, I'm going to be very upset. So I am planning to read this tonight before I head to bed, finish it up. Tyler's about to come home from a night shift or like a day shift that finishes at 11 p.m. So I'm going to stay up for him and read my book a bit, make some tea. I'm very eager. Like, and this book is the first book in a series. So if I give this a 5 stars, that'd be such an amazing feeling. Like, first book in a series, 5 star to the first book. What? Yes. That would be incredible. Otherwise, tomorrow, like morning-ish, Tyler and I are heading to Kentucky for a surprise birthday party for his stepmom. We are driving, so it'll be a little bit of a trek. He's not a huge audiobook listener. Usually I would like pound out some audiobooks in the car, but we'll probably end up listening to a podcast or some music. So we'll be there over the weekend. So expect some B-roll. and this vlog to be up just a tad late because of that. So it might be that this is the only book I finish, of course, with The Perfect Couple this week. But still, that would be quite the success of a reading week. I may be able to just squeak in another book, but we'll have to see. So I'm back home. It is currently Tuesday and I'm a little late getting this up. So I did want to pop in and wrap this vlog up as I did finish another book. And of course, I've already told you guys about The Perfect Couple. Quickly to recap my little weekend, the surprise party was so much fun. She had no idea, which was lovely. The food was great. The band was great. It was just awesome. And it was really good to see family that we don't get to see very often. Like we often see them on holidays, but this was a very special occasion. We did bring Tyler's stepmother some things from the garden, so hopefully she likes those. We brought her some beets and basil and a few other bips and bops there. And yeah, it was just a really great day. We listened to Revisionist History, which is a podcast there and back. And then we also spent a long time picking our like wedding rehearsal dinner playlist and songs that I'm going to walk down the aisle to and back down the aisle to. So that was, I think, a very productive way to use what was quite a lengthy little road trip. My camera is blinking at me, so give me just a second. I think this angle might be better, but probably a little different, so sorry about that. But I'm back. So yes, weekend was great. Oh, listen to Revisionist History and podcast stuff in the car. Why can my brain not remember things that I literally just said to you guys? I think that's all of the updates so far. We did send out the invitations. Yes, wedding things. Okay, now on to the book updates. So I did finish Stillhouse Lake, which I ended up giving 3.5 stars. I don't know, guys. Like, the ending was not predictable in the way that I thought it was going to be predictable. And if that would have happened, I think I would have been crushed. Like, 2-star book. But it just didn't hit. I don't know. I think maybe because I was building up what I thought the ending was going to be, and then it wasn't that, and it was something else that, while wasn't predictable, was just like so far out of left field that I didn't expect it to be there. But up until the end, this was a really, really fun reading experience. So twisty-turny, so fast-paced. I really enjoyed, like, you didn't know who to trust. And I feel like you were put in the place of this mother and her 2 kids. I just don't know that this was, like, more than a 3.5-star read. Is this the slump again? It could very well be the slump. I will continue on with the series. I did really enjoy what this like put together and set out. And at some point I am going to have to do like a reading mystery sequels video because I feel like there are some that are stacking up. But I certainly will pick the second one up in the future because I did really enjoy this. But unfortunately only 3.5 stars. And just to completely wrap this vlog up, I also read The Perfect Couple in this vlog, which I gave 3.5 stars as well. Or 3 stars. I already can't remember. I'll pop it up on the screen for you guys. But overall, 2 pretty enjoyable thrillers, but just not new favorites, unfortunately. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching this reading vlog. If you reached the end of this video, leave me the wave emoji for this lake, or like a water emoji. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.